Morning, just a quick intro to the video you're going to see. So I finally got my underground line running, which for me is a major achievement for the year. So my layout, which is based around various railway journeys from my life, is split into 4 sections. So section 1 is my Aylesbury to Marylebone, which of my sort of childhood travels up to London, and then part of late teenagers, early 20s, I then changed at Harrow on the Hill to travel out to Uxbridge. So a lot of travelling around on the underground, which is why I've got the underground, and which is sort of phase 2 and phase 1, the Marylebone, sort of together on the lower deck. Just trying to get something running so I can just run trains. So I've got my underground trains now all running nicely. They're quite happy. Still got loads of scenics and stuff to do and finishing off stations, but at least whilst I'm up in the loft I can have trains running. I'm just trying to get used to running it. So the Uxbridge line can run as a continuous loop. You just got to decide which trains you've got to pull out of the station, and then to go back in there's a few switches you have to play around with. Amersham's more manual. You obviously, it's a, I can't remember the name of it really. It's sort of an end-to-end basically, teardrop I suppose. And so that one, there's a few switches I have to change as you sort of leave Amersham and then you come back to it. And obviously I've got the playability around London where I can decide which platforms the trains go into. Sorry, at Harrow on the Hill. Anyway, I'll let you see how the Amersham line's running, and maybe I'll show you a little bit more about the control panel as well. Well, as you can see, nice to get some trains running on the underground. So there's a couple of points where maybe the track doesn't flow quite smoothly. My memory of certainly the 70s, especially when you Baker Street and a few other stations, as you were coming in and out, obviously they used to cross the points, and it used to be quite quite a jolty ride on the underground back in the 70s. So part of me was wanting to sort of recreate some of that. I think a lot of things have been laid a lot smoother since, and definitely when I travel up to London now, it's a much smoother ride. Anyway, so this is the control panel. So, and I've got obviously drawers underneath, so I've got various bits of materials in the top, and then all my tools from the loft. So they're all in one place now, which is making life a lot easier. I'm sort of scrabbling around looking for everything. So I've still got my 2 DC controllers and the amp meters at the side, which have been really helpful when I was wiring it out, showing where a lot of the faults were. So I've got so as you put the power on, it lights up so I can see which lines are doing what, which is quite helpful. And then these ones obviously where it's either basically this is the Uxbridge controller and this is the Amersham controller, so you can deciding which way you put it. If it's going that way, it's the Uxbridge one. If that's the Amersham. So both tracks will flow through one. The only schoolboy, I suppose, error I made was with these two. So the idea here is so this is the down line going into Uxbridge, and so from controlling this one, you can then put a train into any platform. I sort of it does it for the positive. I forgot about the negative, and so obviously the negative from here was then shorting out as you cut across, because obviously it's normally looping round. So I've got a couple of extra switches that just basically turn off the negative for the other line if you're wanting to put a train into the station, and then consequently if you want to pull a train out of the station using the up line, again you can isolate the negative for the down line so that the trains come out without shorting out. It's not the prettiest thing inside, but it works for me. And I've got the space to start putting in some of the gauge master points, so I'll be having to go out wiring those up next. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and for those that like, thank you for liking. So I tend to get about 20 likes, I think, for a typical video with the subscribers I've got. So my attitude at the moment is hit 20 likes, I'll stick up another video if I've got one ready. What are we working on next? So got a couple of things going on. Obviously the garage is now clear, and a little bit more wood turning up tomorrow, but I can dispose of that quite quickly. So I can start working on the marylebone board. So it basically starts here. These are the two, this bit of cork, the up and the down for marylebone, two lines, and they all come along here, and then they'll cut across and go down there. And I've got a plan for what I want to, how I want to do it. So quite keen to get that board, start making it, so that I can start putting in tracks and just seeing if it actually works before I then go to the complexity of doing the point levers. So these sort of things I've got over there. And then the other thing I'm working on at the moment is the little shunting yard. So I've got it here. So I'm quite happy with the layout I've got. I've started making buildings. I'm going to make a mechanical point and uncoupling, mechanical uncoupling. I've seen somebody who does that, so I'm going to give that a go. What I'm doing at the moment is down at this end, or this evening, excuse the darkness, one of the lights is gone. I need to find somewhere that sells fluorescent tubes. So what I'm just working on down at this end is, obviously this is where the end of my goods line sort of comes in from the Risborough line, and so I'm just putting in some board to basically take the little goods line round, and it's just got to drop down gently round to about here, where it then starts on my shunting board. But I can take the shunting board out to the garage as well and work on it out there. I just need to get this in first, so I had a starting point for where the line will come in, but I think as I've got it at the moment, I'm quite happy with it. So the only other main thing I want to get sorted as quickly as possible is this becoming quite a junk dumping ground. A lot of stuff. This was our main loft, and I thought it would be possible to sort of store all the other stuff underneath and still have plenty of access. But what I'm discovering is, as you're having to do the cabling underneath, you're having to drag stuff out to crawl underneath. It's quite low as well because I've got the 3 decks. There's only about 50 centimeters high up. So we are fortunate. We have another, behind the wall at the end there is another smaller loft space, which is accessible not by a nice big hatch, but there's a small enough hatch I can get most of the stuff up. So the plan is to get that boarded out this week and get everything that's not train related into the other loft, as it's all stuff that kids' toys and books and stuff and Christmas decorations and stuff you don't really need very much. So to get a much cleaner space, I'm very envious of people who have very neat and tidy train rooms. Been watching an awful lot of American guys who have a very nice layout. So I will endeavour in the next couple of weeks to clear this lot up. Anyway, you'll be able to judge for yourself maybe in a couple of weeks' time. So that's me, a busy week ahead, what with one thing and another, but looking forward to it. Right, well, don't know when the next one will be up, but I'm sure it won't be long. And as always, thanks for watching and happy modelling.